I recently was able to trace back my family to the plantation where they were enslaved, and I found out that the person who owned that plantation was a Yale graduate. And so it just felt so crazy, and I found this out my senior year, and it felt so crazy, like he is rolling in his grave knowing that Tony Spruill's great-great-granddaughter is at the same school that he was at. Hi, my name is Brea Baker. I'm a racial and gender justice organizer, and I'm 24 years old.
Hi, my name is Bob Gore. I'm a photographer, broadcaster, activist, and I'm 72 years old.
What does activist mean to you, that title?
You know, it's interesting because this is a label or a title that is relatively new. We used to call it movement. I think what it means is a point of view on change for people who otherwise couldn't do it for themselves.
When did you start organizing?
Well, I first met Dr. King when I was 17 years old. I had no idea how transformative meeting him was going to be. In fact, I literally left home on a Friday with one kind of attitude and came back with a totally different vocabulary. Right. It changed my whole life moving forward.
What would you say is your proudest moment or one of your proudest moments?
I came to New York in 1980-ish. To run a television station that was owned by the city of New York, and I was able to convince the city to convert the schedule to doing black programming in prime time, 7 days a week, that had never ever even been thought of, let alone done.
Right.
It was so monumental, and it became not only an entertainment and education platform, but a forum for the African American community. So we had people who had been locked out completely from the system, now had a chance.
What activated me was Trayvon Martin's death. That was my freshman year of college. I think I was just like grasping for something, just who can cultivate me and teach me where to go, because I have a lot of like unbridled rage and I just don't know what to do with it. And I think that,
unbridled rage. That's very nice.
It's good, but then when you channel it, it's even better.
My earliest project, in 1965, we were working to get lead paint removed from apartments on the west side of Chicago. We're still working.
I was going to say that work is still happening.
But a lot of what we do is to repeat what we've been doing.
It's just scary to think that I can do all this work and still this sort of thing will be happening. I can't imagine 50 more years of Trump-esque, neo-Nazi-esque.
But see, you're challenging. That is the name of the game. There will always be challenges.
Yeah.
But you're seeing progress. I mean, from Emmett Till to Trayvon Martin in my lifetime. You don't just go to the funeral and weep anymore. Now there's an organized reaction and a discussion about change in criminal justice that wasn't even thinkable. One day I decided to go into the dining car on the Dixie Hummingbird. They told me, but I had $5 burned in my pocket. And they went back and told my mother, said, listen, if your son comes in the dining car again, we're gonna put all y'all off the train. You got that. You realize, oh, this is really serious. And even if I don't care about it, I don't want to face my father when I go back to Chicago, because it was so serious, you know. And do I care about eating in the dining car on the train? I said, yes. It seems like a small thing, but it says to me in a very concrete and specific term how far we have come.
Yeah.
You know, the experience of movement is tough, but from time to time, there are payoffs. There are things that say, you know what, we did that. Are there any moments like that you could talk about where you said, that worked?
The one that I always think of is the student organizing that I did my senior year at Yale. We launched this big campaign against the Yale Endowment. We were doing marches and teach-ins and town halls. At the beginning of the following school year, they did change the name of the college. They named one of the new colleges after Pauli Murray, an incredible queer black feminist thinker. They doubled all of the cultural center budgets. We got a lot of demands met. That was that first experience for me that prepared me to then think that I could go up against the NYPD and against a Trump administration and the NRA and the work that I've been able to do since then. So myth-busting the movement. Myth-busting the movement.
Well, to some extent, the movement was built on mythology. People came for what they thought was going to be the excitement and the joy of freeing other people and the rallies and all of that, and then realized it was just dogged, day by day, rejection to some wild ideas that you had to stay with. And of course, the popular media kind of glamorized the movement
Yes.
because you could only televise those things that you happen to have covered, which were the culminations, which were the mass meetings, which were the celebrity gatherings and concerts. But nowadays, you all are the glamour people. I mean, you know,
And that's the
daytime
same
television,
myth.
I love this thing.
I mean, I think similarly, it's that same myth. The interviews, that's like once or a couple times a year. Like, even, you know, like family who will ask me, oh, Brea's just always getting arrested somewhere. And it's like, I've only been arrested 3 times. Actually, most of the time I'm setting up like film screenings and trying to like engage the community to politicize other people. How hopeful are you, if at all, about the future of equality for Black people in America?
I certainly believe that there's a growing class of particularly women who are the great untapped resource to unleash the power that will make for a future that is much brighter than we've seen in the past.
And I'm hopeful too, because middle school students are so able to articulate all of the isms in the world, and I'm just like, I wish I knew what you know at that age, because you are going to be so unstoppable. So I just think that people are becoming politicized so much younger, and I absolutely love that. I think it's gonna bust this wide open.
Yeah.